Hey everybody, it's me, Nicole Rivera. Welcome back to our weekly writing prompts. It's week 3. If you've been doing the writing so far and keeping up in the Swab 52 Club, where we're all writing 52 stories in 52 weeks, then awesome job. There have been a couple of people that have been sharing stories pretty quickly every single week, and it's been really exciting to see people rally around these prompts. So it's week 3, so I had 3 on my mind, and it kind of triggered this memory of a prompt that I used to do back when I first got into this whole passion for writing on the regular, for pleasure and for the sake of story. You see, I don't know if I explained this to you guys here on the YouTube channel before, but I was a teacher for over 10 years. I taught math, of all things, in high school, and I never really allowed myself to step into creative writing. I don't know if I don't want to say that I thought it was a waste of time by any stretch, because I loved writing up until I was in the classroom. But once I was teaching, all of my creative energy went to my classroom, went to my students, went to my lessons. I did a lot of very creative story-based lessons, but I didn't write for the sake of story. And then when I got sick, came home, I started blogging. But of course, my first instinct was not to write creatively. I was writing about the food industry. I had this blog called Searching for Sustenance, and I loved it. It was a passion project of mine, especially because I wasn't feeling well. I really wanted to explore all of the things that could have been causing that. And but while I was out in the blogging world, I started to see people writing and creating blogs just for their fiction, and I kind of started to build this envy in me. I could do that. My blog doesn't have to be, investigative journalism. So I created a new blog, and I started connecting with a lot of different writing prompt communities and just writing communities or blog hops, of people who are writing fiction or poetry or personal essay, and it was amazing. And so I've been digging deep now that I've started this project and I'm getting prompts for each week. I've been on the hunt for a lot of these old groups that I used to participate in, and the heartbreaking thing is that a lot of them are no longer active. And I don't know why I thought they would always just be out there for me, but it's really disappointing. And so today's prompt is actually from one of those groups, and it is one of those groups that is no longer sending out challenges, but the pieces of their webpage are still there. And one of them is the page that describes the challenge, which is great because I kind of remembered it, but there were some details when I read over their challenge instructions that I had forgotten that make it so much better. So it's week 3. I went back and found the trifecta challenge. It's all about threes. It's all about threes. It was a great little group that would post this prompt every single week. You had until the end of the week to share your story on your blog and then share your link with the group so that everybody in the group could read. And this is how many of the prompt groups online had worked at the time. I'm still looking for somebody that's doing that today. But the name of this group, the name of the challenge is the Trifecta Challenge. And it was created by 2 women. So the editors of this challenge, the 2 women that created it, are Lisa Harvey and Jules I. Both. And Jules Fry Both. I'm not sure what these 2 ladies are doing right now. I did not see them out there. I was looking around, but I honestly just thought this group would still be active, so I thought I was going to find them right on the site when I got there. What do you know? Why did I think that they'd be still active? No one else is. Okay, so what is the Trifecta Challenge? Well, week 1, I gave you a lot, or I gave you the tools to have a lot to start with, and that was we were all starting with an already published story. Whether it was a short story or a novel, you were starting your writing with a lot of words from another author. Last week, week 2, was also giving a lot. There was a prompt at the beginning, a prompt that came at you in the middle of your writing, and another prompt that you had to wrap up with. These were a lot of things being thrown at you. This week, we're going to be very minimal. Here is what the Trifecta Challenge is, as described on the Trifecta site. A one-word prompt will be given. The chosen word will come from the Merriam-Webster's online dictionary. For the Trifecta Writing Challenge, we will always use the third given definition. Please note the definition. We're likely asking you to use the word in a different way than you typically do. You should write a creative response using the given word. You must use the word in its correct form in your response. Your response can be no fewer than 33 and no more than 333 words. Did I say we were going to be talking about threes? So, I'm going to give you a word. It's going to be a word that has multiple definitions, and we are going to focus on the third definition of that word. Then comes the second challenge. You're going to write a story, but it's going to be tiny. You can go as low as 33 words if you can, which is a huge challenge and amazing. But you can't go any higher than 333 words. This is called microfiction. Not even flash fiction. We are in microfiction zone. So if you don't have experience with writing flash or microfiction, it's basically just a word limit on your writing. It's a very small, short story. So it's a huge challenge. And it really practices your editing abilities. So you're going to write something, and this week, I don't know how you've been handling the prompts in the last couple of weeks. Maybe you just wrote something and sort of said, I'm happy with it, there it goes. I don't think you're going to be able to complete this challenge if you're going to hold yourself to the word limit without having to come back and reread and count and reread. There's a lot of revision that comes in with flash fiction and microfiction, which is why I love to set these sort of prompts and challenges for myself from time to time, because it's helping me practice that skill as well. So, simple? No. But I'm going to give you a very simple word. We are going to start with the basic 3-letter word, because it's all about threes. Jam. That's right, jam. And we're going to use it in the verb form. And let me pull up the definition for you. According to the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary, jam, verb, definition 3, is to improvise on a musical instrument with a group, to take part in a jam session. The example given, musicians jamming together. So I think this could be really fun for a short little story. We have to write some sort of jam story, some sort of musical story, and limit ourselves to having the story be between 33 words and 333 words. I think you're up to it. I think if you haven't done any type of flash or microfiction before, this is going to be a very interesting experiment. If you have, you know what I'm talking about, and just have fun with it. I used to love the Trifecta Challenge. I did not participate in it as much as I wanted to, because it was weekly and there were so many other weekly prompts going on, and it was such a challenge to get that editing done within a week. But I did it a couple of times, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it stuck with me all these years. I don't know when they stopped posting those prompts, but I'll tell you this. The last time I participated in it, because I went back through my archives, was 2013. So you're talking about an experience of writing that stuck with me so much that I haven't even looked at it in, oh gosh, it's 7 years now. in 7 years. So I think you'll really, really enjoy this one. But I'd love to hear what you have to say. I will put a link to the challenge page that's left on Trifecta, because they do actually have another challenge as well called Trifecta. So if you want to read about that, that'll be on that link. I will put a link to the word jam in the Merriam-Webster online dictionary so that you can check it out. It's got I think it's 4 definitions in the verb form, and then, of course, there's the nouns. I mean, the dictionary is a really excellent source for these types of prompts, and it's something that's very repeatable. I love prompts that are repeatable. Just to give you an example, if you like this exercise and you want to repeat it for yourself, 2 of the words that I saw when I went back into my archives that I had used with Trifecta before were band, the word band, and we used the 3rd definition, and the word charm, and we used the 3rd definition. But there's so many. You could even Google English words with multiple definitions, and start from there and see which word you would like to use. But for now, for this week, it's all about jam, a musical story of sorts. You have to have that in your story and try to keep it short. I can't wait to see what happens. In the comments, let me know. Have you done flash fiction? Have you done microfiction before? Were you a part of the Trifecta Challenge when they were active? And if you are doing the 52 Stories in 52 Weeks Challenge, and even if this is the first week you're tuning in and you're saying, man, I wish I knew about that, you know about it now. We have the Swap 52 Club in Facebook. Come on over, join the conversation. That's a bunch of people that have taken on this challenge to write a story a week and using these prompts. It's a lot of fun to see how other people approach the same prompts. It's one of my favorite things about prompts. If I were doing it alone, it's okay, but when I do it with others, it is amazing. So I want to thank you for coming here this week, again, for tuning in. I want to thank you for your writing and sharing your stories with the world. This week in Stop Writing Alone, I did a whole episode on why your story matters. So in case you are one of those writers that's feeling like maybe I should be doing something more important with my life than playing make-believe on the page, I've got an argument against that, guys. So tune in to Stop Writing Alone wherever you hear podcasts or wherever you find your podcasts. Just search Stop Writing Alone and you will find me there. And that comes out every Thursday. Otherwise, like I said, you can find me in the Swap 52 Facebook group or the Stop Writing Alone Facebook page or Facebook group. And I think that's it. Online in social media, Stop Writing Alone has its own Instagram now so that you can find me easily at Stop Writing Alone. Otherwise, my personal, why can't I think of the name? My personal tags on Instagram and Twitter is NV_Rivera. Kind of like our YouTube channel, NV Rivera. I think that's it. Oh no, one last thing. I mentioned this on my podcast this week, and I don't think I've mentioned it on the YouTube channel. If you wanted to sponsor what's going on here, what's going on in the podcast, and all of the things that I am bringing to you, I do have a coffee page. Everybody is really familiar with Patreon. It's similar. It's the same idea as Patreon, but it's coffee, and that's spelled ko-fi.com, and I just couldn't resist because I love me some coffee. And the way that it works is you say, I love what Nicole's doing. I'd like to buy her a coffee. So you go on in there and you just donate a coffee. And believe me, I will be incredibly grateful for coffee and all of the support for all that's going on here. So thanks again, and I will see you next week. Happy writing. Good luck editing. It's going to be great.